there's a lot of lore about how you're supposed to do secure coding. So for example, like maybe somebody says like, oh, you got to sanitize all your inputs, you know, like get those inputs and sanitize them or validate them.
That's me. That's what I say.
Yeah, yeah, sanitize and validate those inputs, you know. But that's not always the control you want. It's not always possible to do it in that way. When it turns out when it comes to cross-site scripting in particular, what you're really looking for is contextual output encoding, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to say at the time where I'm going to take the attacker control value and do the dangerous thing with it, I want the result to be like treated as benign. And so you want some benign equivalent characters, right? Like HTML encoded characters on the screen. That's if you're having to put it in a context where it could be treated as code. If you were to say like, oh yeah, I just want to get this on the page, you should do something where you prefer an API like text content over inner HTML so that it's like really not even possible to make that mistake because you didn't leave yourself open for it. I think dangerously set HTML is like an equivalent of inner HTMLing something where you're like, hey, I have this dangerous value and like, I'm going to do something dangerous now and hopefully I get it right. You know, there is an alternative way to do this in React, but I've seen, you know, presentations by like React experts and they don't seem to necessarily know the exact pattern for getting it right when it comes to like user controlled or attacker controlled content and then getting it on the page successfully.